Hello YouTube, hello. Right, it's the opening day of this movie, Hunger Games Mockingjay Part 1. It's the Thursday again. I have a Thursday to myself, and this movie happened to open today, Thursday the 20th of November. I've got the date right this time. I was a date out for my Interstellar. That was last Thursday. What did I think of it? Right, for a kick-off, it wasn't just focused on the young people in it. I felt like an old cunt when I was there and building up to go into it. I just felt like, oh shit, I shouldn't go to this, because I watched film 14 earlier today, and it was only then the critics on that show who had said that it was for 14-year-old girls after me planning to do this a few days ago now. And I didn't know that the Hunger Games were aimed at 14-year-old girls. I didn't know that anyway. I went along with it. I carried on my plans through and I went. Yeah, one of the critics on film 14, she said that it's like being a young girl nowadays is all about having a hunk on one arm and a hunk in reserve. And I thought that was really amusing actually when I saw that on film 14, BBC's film 14. It's still on the iPlayer, by the way, so check it out. Most amusing. And actually, it's not like, this part 1 is not like the first movie and the second movie where it's like obvious males, pretty males pouting and pretty females pouting. It's not as obvious as that. It's not as, explicit as that. In this film, I was watching it thinking, comparatively, it's very similar to the Deathly Hallows, Harry Potter Deathly Hallows Part 1. No spoilers here, by the way. It's very much a character study, character build-up, basically, for the payoff in Part 2, which the Deathly Hallows, the Harry Potter Deathly Hallows final 2 films, where Part 1 was character study, as I say, build-up of plot, very black and white, which this was, and it was all about build-up for the Part 2, which Deathly Hallows Part 1 was for Part 2. The exact premise is the exact premise of the Harry Potter final 2 films. Even if you go into it like that, I'm totally aware of the fact that it's not going to be like Part 1, like the first Hunger Games and Hunger Games Catching Fire, where Katniss is running around firing arrows and there's young kids getting killed left, right and centre, and there's fist-to-fist, fisticuffs, battles between two people, full-on fighting and all that. It's got none of that. It's exactly like the Deathly Hallows Part 1. Pure character study, where characters are interacting with each other. No mega fast cut edits in the photography, in the direction. It's simply all about character and build up for Part 2, for Mockingjay, in this case Mockingjay Part 2. Then you won't be let down or disappointed. If you go into it thinking that, totally aware that it's not going to be this highly technical machine, which the first 2 were, then you won't be disappointed. It's not mega long, it's only 2 hours, whereas last Thursday's movie I went to see was Interstellar. That just felt like it was an hour and a half to me, to be honest with you. It was just like, it just flew by. This totally different animal, this film, Mockingjay Part 1. I was able to relax and enjoy it. There was just as much of Julianne Moore's character and Philip Seymour Hoffman's character in the movie as were Liam Hemsworth and the girl who plays Katniss, I forget her name now. there was a good mix of ages in this movie, of actors portraying the characters. So I can actually recommend to you, if you've got a kid who wants to go see it, and you're thinking, oh God, I can't be arsed because it's just going to be like the first two. It's not. It will actually keep you engaged, and you will travel with it, and you won't be like thinking, oh fuck, when's it going to be over? When's it going to be over? Whatever. No, you'll want to stay with it. It'll keep you interested. It was totally different to Interstellar. My clothes weren't shaking with the sound of the subwoofers. Totally, really melancholy, just like Deathly Hallows Part 1, the Harry Potter movie. Essential, yes. I've heard critics online and the critics on Film 14, BBC's Film 14, say that it is just filler, and there's no need for Mockingjay to be split into two parts. But c'est la vie. Here it was only cost me $5.99, which was probably about equivalent of $8 American to go in a peak showing time. So I'm not bothered, and it got me out the house for 3 hours. And again, it saved me sitting in a pub on my Todd on my Thursdays, which I have to myself. So at least I'll have a solid night's sleep tonight. The movie itself, yeah, there's an actual plot and a story. An actual plot and a story. Let me see if I can get some light on here. Hang on. Where are we? There's an actual plot and a story. It's not just all about teenagers pouting on the screen. So I enjoyed it. I did. The thing I didn't enjoy was being in a cinema full of 13 and 14 and 15 year olds. That was the most uncomfortable for me. I don't know. Where are we here? The banks of Mersey. I'm on my walk home like I was last Thursday after watching Interstellar. Yeah, I would say it was worth the price of admission. The cinematography in the movie is great. There's a lot of wide panning shots of scenery and stuff, and you feel like you're moving. You feel like you're getting a 3D effect in your chair when you're in the cinema, even though it's not in 3D. Some of the panning shots, the cinematography, and some of it is great in this movie. I really did enjoy it. I don't often go to the flicks, but when I do, yeah, I can recommend it to all ages. If you want to go see it after the first two. If you're not in a rush to go see it, and if you've not seen any of the Hunger Games movies, hire the first two out first. I would recommend that, and then go along and see it. Why not? It wasn't filler. It wasn't. One could be far too cynical and say it was. Alright, on that note, over and out.